To this day.
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 What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay, the Bronze Bomber Wilder, and Anthony Joshua. Get this. Deontay Wilder reveals proof that Joshua is scared to face him. He says people can see it now. The former heavyweight world champion Deontay Wilder has linked to a showdown with Anthony Joshua for over half a decade. And it seems that the deal was finally in place for the pair to meet in the ring. Talks appear to have stalled. Again, Matchroom promoter Eddie Hearn insists that negotiations are ongoing and that AJ is desperate to take on the Bronze Bomber, but the Brit appears poised to fight an alternative opponent in December on January ahead of plans to face Wilder later in March or April of 2024. In an interview with Blue Blood Sports TV, Wilder says that AJ's actions prove that he's afraid to take the fight. And this is what Deontay Wilder had to say. He said, "I know that he, Joshua, is afraid to fight me. I will say that because he hasn't proved me differently. I know what fear is. We are all from different parts of the slums. I have been in my fair share of fights and I can smell out fear. I know what it is. This man won't even mention my name when people ask him about me in certain interviews and stuff like that. He avoids me and the conversation about fighting Deontay. That is proof. It's nothing that I am making up. We have seen it many times." And he ended with, "It's crazy how this thing has been prolonged. It's been so long, and AJ and Hearn, always try to deflect it like it was us preventing the fight. Now people are finally realizing and seeing that it was never me. It was their side all along." Those are the words of Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. And let me counterpunch. You know, the silence is golden trick AJ's doing is not really working. It's not. I think, because when you decide not to say something about a particular fighter, that fighter could always choose to take the approach that you're afraid of them. Okay, bottom line, hey, I'm not going to say anything about this particular fighter. I'm going to take the high road. Well, a lot of times the high road don't really mean the high road. The high road can mean the by road, because it's like this. If AJ decides to talk about someone else, the first thing people are going to say is, why aren't you talking about Deontay Wilder? For example, when Joshua knocked out Robert Helenius in the 7th round, and after that fight with Ade, right? Shout out to him. He asked him, like, well, okay, who do you want next? Is you going to want Deontay Wilder or what? And he was like, oh, my back. And he did that shit. And he was like, I'm tired of carrying the heavyweight division. And it was like, okay, that is a sign of deflecting. Why are you running away from the question? You know what I mean? That's an easy question. You either want to fight him or you don't want to fight him. You know what I mean? If you don't want to fight him, he could have easily said, like, look, I'm in a transition right now. I'm in recovery right now. I'm doing the right thing. The same thing that Lennox Lewis, big up England, big up, did when he was taken out by McCoy, right? Or McCall, should I say. And that's what he did. So maybe AJ's doing the same thing, but doing what he did, yeah, that wasn't cool. And Wilder can always sit back as long as AJ allows that to happen, say things like that. And guess what? More people are going to believe it if AJ doesn't say anything. He says anything he really wants to, even though I think he tries to censor or trying to monitor, or he's very careful on what he says and how he says certain things. You know what I'm trying to say? That type of stuff. Like, no, say what you want to say. I think that comes off better, because what happens, the same type of attitude like that can cause certain situations like the Usyk meltdown, things like that. When he doesn't really say what he needs to say all the time, then it comes out, and it comes out normally negative or bad or aggressive because he's been holding it back so long. But to my understanding, though, the Deontay Wilder versus Anthony Joshua fight didn't happen because Skills Challenge went belly up. They didn't have the money no more. That was in talks until what happened? Tyson Fury decided to fight Alexander Usyk, and that's what happened. Skills Challenge was no longer in the picture. The same Skills Challenge that signed Alexander Usyk. They're no longer in the politics of boxing. So it's bigger than Wilder. But then I don't think that matters what the truth really is, because the truth of the matter is for Deontay Wilder to say it was Joshua all along, that makes no sense when you turn down the biggest amount of money that you ever seen in your life just because you decided to try to stay loyal to Al Heyman, PBC, Fox, and Showtime and them. And you can't make that up. That is facts. He decided, all money ain't good money. It's good to be about being loyal. Oh, okay. Well, that fight or that money that you could have had could have got you what you say you wanted. One champion, one face, one name. Right? But you didn't take it. So you can't say it's AJ no more. If AJ did any ducking with you or from you, you have to take part and be accountable for your own actions. You know what I mean? What Al Heyman advises you doesn't mean it's always the thing to do, or is it? You know what I mean? So that's another question. Does Al Heyman have dominion over those guys? He tells Shelly Finkel tells him, and that's the word. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. That is law. Because there was no reason for Deontay Wilder to turn down that money. I don't care about $50 million if you can't care about $100 million. See, that $50 million didn't mean anything to $100 million because you're making $40 million yourself for a fight. Not what you're offering Anthony Joshua, or you offered him supposedly $50 million. But I will say this, okay? As far as Eddie Hearn goes, I seen him real quick to bring up Francis Ngannou with AJ instead of Wilder with AJ. I'm like, okay, well, what the hell happened to Wilder? You know what I mean? So I could see both sides. But really, the proof that Wilder said he has, that's just him or AJ not being accountable for or not being responsive. And that passive approach is not always warranted. You know what I mean? Even 5 years ago, Wilder was talking so much shit, building his profile, just talking up shit. Now he's doing it again. He's pretty much doing basically Wilder and Fury did the same shit. They fought each other. They really fought nobody, but then they got popular by talking up AJ. You know what I mean? And then when those guys get beat, AJ get beat, hallelujah. So then it'd be like, okay, well, hey, I don't have to fight him because he already got beat. Those are those type of tactics that they play. You know what I mean? Wilder, you knocked out Robert Alenius, okay, but dude, that was over a year ago. And then the year before that, you got knocked out by Fury. But what did Fury do? Fury fought a lot of slow pokes, plotted fighters, but talked shit. Now Wilder's doing it again. But 5 years ago, Wilder was able to talk up that name, and then therefore the DAZN deal was offered to him, and he still turned it down. So, the proof that Joshua was afraid of him, that may be true. But then him just saying, well, hey, he hasn't said anything. Well, Joshua has decided not to say a lot of things. I was pissed at Joshua. I'm like, Joshua, say something. Say something about Wilder. What's the deal? You don't have the same aggression when you talk about Big Baby Miller or Dillian White or, a lot of guys that he said he would knock Spark out or whatever. And he said it like, I'll slap Wilder around the ring, but he doesn't say it all the time. Again, it could be the high road, but again, the high road, the passive way of doing things isn't really working. But as far as I know, the fight between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua is not happening because of Saudi Arabia's politics, because they feel they have a much bigger fight. Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. Well, I guess because Francis has introduced himself to the sport of boxing has became a major player. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Deontay Wilder stating that he has proof that Anthony Joshua was afraid to fight him. We can see it now. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!